Hey everyone. So Amit, with more and more people getting into gaming these days, from casual gamers to hardcore gamers, and then this gamification, gaming as in general, getting into real world, getting into offline things as well, and the most trending thing right now is the inclusion of AR VR as well in the gamification and the gaming world. What's your perspective on this growing trend?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, as the digital transformation of everything becomes more and more sort of, evenly distributed, if you will,
Yeah.
people will realize that there is no, uh, real difference between what is called as physical universe and sort of the digital universe, because that's what you mean by digital transformation. Your
Yeah.
regular activities and your regular processes and your regular interactions have an element of the digital twin happening there. So as this digital transformation and the digital twin process of the world happens, that people begin to realize is a seamless experience. You would like it to be a seamless experience. Let me put it that way. You would like everything to happen seamlessly, no matter where you are, what you're doing, and what currency you need, and what language you're talking, and all that stuff. You would like an AI to be there. You would like augmented reality and all of that to kind of assist you, and you would like that experience to happen in a highly sort of augmented way.
Yeah.
So that process lends itself to optimization and gamification, right? You can call it a game if it's the game world. You can call it retail if it's a retail world. You can call it betting or whatever if it's, or office, or or whatever it is. You could have a tele consultation for financial services or doctor services and all that. Or you can go into a metaverse that's run by some kids somewhere, which is very popular, but then you can order a pizza that gets delivered to your house.
Yeah.
Right. And you can use points to do that, because the points have a certain value, which is all real time. And all of this stuff is happening. Crypto as such and points, they all blend into money and liquidity, right?
Exactly.
So there is this seamlessness about it all. That is what I think is the essence of building games that are relevant for various audiences, whether it's a real game or just gamification.
Yeah. So because this trend started from like in-game purchases, and now it's bleeding out to like offline purchases and like out-of-game purchases, converting to points and cryptos and all that. And I see that this trend is increasing. If I might take a different direction for gamification in games, I would want to have a discussion on the role of AI, as well as like on the contrary of social games. So there are these two prospects when there is this AI assisted, and then you have social games which have a inbuilt virality in them. And what's your take on these two aspects?
You see, the AI is just the software part of it, right? So what the game world is capable of doing, and what kind of non-playing or non-human characters it creates, bots or avatars, or let me take out the word avatar, because avatar really means identity, and it can be a AI avatar or a human avatar. But I mean, just pure AI, what can it do in this world, and how realistic is synthetic media going to be? For example, whether it's producing a song, which we have some very cool things that I've been seeing in our universe, where AI can actually produce music, which is a very mathematically complex thing to do, because what is music, and is a different thing. So or even just writing. Of course, you've seen a lot of artificial writing, and you've seen a lot of this person does not exist type of AI. And so this synthetic media continues to grow, and eventually you're going to have this notion of curation, right? Because there's so much media, and search doesn't actually get you enough narrow it down. So ultimately you become reliant on your social groups that allow you to curate and discover and find the important things. So it becomes a very again, a seamless thing, right? It's human assisting. I mean, what should I say? Human in the loop AI.
Yeah, human in the loop
It's
AI. Yeah.
really AI in service of humans, not the other way around anymore. I think that's the exciting possibilities.
So what's in general, I mean, like, what's your personal take on games and gamification? Are you a hardcore gamer or a casual gamer?
I think I'm a casual gamer. Obviously, I don't have time to get into like enough, so I'm a casual gamer. I love games though. I've grown up with games, so I'm an avid gamer, but I'm an avid casual gamer. I'm very interested in games, right? And I love games, and I like enabling games, right? So I think because I love games so much, I think the world is the game of life. You see, the game of life or the game of commerce certainly is something that we can really sort of enable in a multi-channel or a multiverse sort of way, which is why we like to say the multiverse is a way, because once you become connected to all the things that you care about, then you yourself are the network that you go anywhere with it. You take your network with you rather than you having to go to LinkedIn or wherever the network is. So I think it's the disaggregation of the functionalities of the internet that will create the next opportunities, right? It's always disaggregation and aggregation, but I think the future is going to be this rapid, what I call reaggregation, constant reaggregation, which is now done by human beings and not platforms. So it's people over platforms, right? I think that's the future.
That's where we are heading towards. And I think games as well as gamification in general is a highly accepted like globally. I think it's highly accepted globally as a concept, and people are always like, what I have seen so far, people are always curious, people are more engaged when we put gamifications and games in anything in general. And I think, I mean, like, this is my perspective, that future startups, future companies, future organizations will have to willfully or forcefully will have to adapt to this methodology to grow and sustain in engaging with people. And that's as we have discussed in many of our conversations, people and value are the core of everything. And I think gamification will might take the lead there to engage people with each other.
Yeah,
as well
I think it's
as
an extension of this movement that happened a few years back with the quantified self. The quantification of everything like fitness and just everything becoming quantified makes it easier for you to improve those things that you're quantified now. So if you can quantify everything, or certainly can we quantify the processes that drive sales and ultimately value, then you can gamify that process. And it's a leaderboard, right? Ultimately, it's all people coming together. I mean, we already have the global leaderboard, which is money. Everybody's measuring each other based on the money they make, which is a sad thing, but also an integral aspect of what energy is needed to do things in this world. So both those things can now sort of assimilate each other, and you can see how any activity ultimately leads to what it is and how it all sort of fits together. And then you can, with that understanding, create new networks and communities that can really co-create in those verticals.
That's what I was coming up to, the co-creation and co-selling aspect in gamification and games. That's you can shed a little bit of light on how it can be integrated, or how it can be shown as an example.
Yeah, there are two parts to the co-selling opportunity. The first, of course, is the fact that you can share commissions now with multiple people in a single transaction. This is a unique thing, which has not been done before, because you can't track this whole activity of everyone that is involved in a sale, because it's happening on the internet and it's happening across platforms. So unless you have this new type of technology infrastructure that really is built for this type of a multi-channel, multiverse type model, where every platform is equal and you're sort of connecting the dots for your own business or your own self, and then driving the activity of your own community across the world or the networks, in a digital manner, because digital is now physical, 2.0. That's what's required. So you have this first part of it, which is the ability to take 30, 40%, 50%, and even more of the value of a sale, which is what is available as arbitrage between the buyer and the seller, technically, distributors and so on. How to distribute that now across human beings. So imagine 2, 3, 4 people magically earning, 5, 10, 15% of the sale, all of them together, just because as they keep producing content and engagement and whatever they do, without any notion of selling as such, all getting paid in real time, as the community itself creates more and more value, and people ultimately buy stuff within that universe, because it contains everyone. It contains buyers, sellers, and these new things called co-sellers. So the first part is the ability to track and to share commissions based on the multi-touch attribution, which is the real attribution of anybody and any sale. So that's the first part. The second part is the fact that I can work in a community together. Now that I can do this, what does it mean? It means that I can now bring many people together, work together, and just generate lots of content, expand the funnel across the internet, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram or Google or YouTube or whatever it is, email, web 1, blogs, text messages, or web 2, which is these platforms, now web 3 inside those web 3 URLs. Wherever I share content and produce content and engage people, I'm now able to do that in a community type manner. We're all doing it. We're all kind of doing our best to create content, to engage people and invite them and do all that stuff in all the platforms, not knowing when somebody buys something, right? Not focusing on, hey, please buy. No more solo driven hunting kind of a model, but just a co-creation village coming together to provide value and tell people about awesome stuff and engage and share, and just random normal sharing that creates the value. Right? So you get paid for it magically. So this is where you can now start to amplify yourself by telling others and telling other people to work with your, gamifying it. So it's a game. It's a game of cooperation. It's a game of bringing people together. It's a game of monopoly. It's a game of building, and building together. It's not just solo building, and then it's not a zero-sum game anymore. The game is now specifically a game of abundance. Normally, the game is a zero-sum game because they call it a game, because it's game theory and things like that. But it is ultimately the game of life and the game of commerce. And people see it as a zero-sum game because they try to optimize for themselves. Versus now, we're able to optimize for the community, for the whole thing. And we always realize that the maximization of the whole thing is the only way to increase everybody's pie. Right? And there's unlimited value to be created in that situation. It's an abundance mindset and an abundance in action. And you can just join any of these communities and start earning. I mean, it's that simple.
Amit, thanks so much for such a lovely conversation on this up and coming trend.
Yeah,
thanks so much.